Tuta Mr. Talams and Happy Monday! Happy Monday! Atong tukubet sa Monday ilang leng tiyaw lobong al Monday tial 2019. Amarkuir sel family hour 2019 mal sokalwase Happy New Year okure dire kal malorang asule la robakal Dios mang ari atobet sel okya kargi der tuta ndi era bodong adorngi ang waigel pe korokul family hour admal di watalgibel time mo lelak le mal laurang asule la rubakal Dios ratial klabokal bulwadra bulur belal nilul miskid madire kal sel mokte garingi rirali del mo other belaw hada mal dim gasay mal gire del blo mo kakatkak le kasabak le kaubal tiring Malaway se ngara obengete la tutara family rangarnya Bola Orak Majekobaje engkang belau Orior Executive Director Palau Conservation Society mangmalso kalungate sangat elal tutau mensel ku koradio ay sergidra talgib a little bit background del was engkang mil elarger where was she born and where was she raised au era la mirbelau.
Thank you so much, Senator, and Neil Tutau to everyone out there, and thank you, Mr. Talams, very much for allowing me to be here, and I will speak in English.
Yes, okay.
I'm still learning my Palauan.
Mangkamo di mo mlokol toram rigel leng tirkam suba torbela mo se kaloliuda se seratigingel.
But yeah, I was actually born in Palau. The story that my mom tells me is that she wanted to come home to do the traditional omasur and omangat, and so I was lucky enough to be born in Palau.
Alingkal bola ang aligela Wilma Orak. Ay simulwa siya dalala mil alira bulur belaw mang leswala dalala el mo sobe el ngara omasur mo nga omangat tarngi maldo mong ler belam alia bola.
And then the other story she tells is that she was planning to go back to the U.S. when I was 3 or 4 or 5 months. But then my grandpa Bolwaise said, no, why don't you leave the child here? And my dad said, if you leave my child here, then you stay there too. My Nigerian dad. And so
adumala bola other Nigeria bulura Africa okore angkal el domalang kagi dele Wilma, was it the grandfather?
Yeah.
Kaldamala kagita Bolwaise ora kaldamala grandfather nging tamala Wilma morning ilwase merengal ka mangartel bela talgib mangkal dalala abola mga todo ulmorado malwase mga kalbe erengal kal talgi berteng sel sum kam erengal ga mga tila ka bay di merkol ket tila lo bang ilang ka de ko be mong mira so she took the baby and moved to Mabrigel.
Yeah, so I was raised in Idaho for a little while, and then I have a sister and a brother, and then we eventually moved to Portland where my uncle James was living, and I think they were among the first Palauans that were in Portland. And yeah, really proud of my parents. They tried their best, to be in this new place when there was very few Palauans there, very little fish. They couldn't, I think they were eating Uncle Ben's back then. Uncle Ben's rice, it's like instant rice. But they, they raised us to be proud of being Nigerian, proud of being Palauan. They missed the boat on teaching us Palauan, but we were raised in Portland most of our lives.
Portland de Seguidia at tablol mol mokerngi alabong ngarinya ang koringi James Orak mga se adala ma James atartirgel dire kan lekot tal other belal mokkera balura Portland mamlugro ngalgela dir belaw ma ngegidal damala Nigerian al African dimlo dia kal sabel losis aklia awin mam lo losis aklang algera torbela mangagidal goratir kam suba torbela el time thing mal proud the other below mal lungilar ngule mal la other below.
Yeah, so growing up, we were We danced sometimes. Uncle James and Mayreng Rengulbai, they taught us how to do, mata-matong and, the different dances and things like that. So we even got the backs of our legs hit once in a while when we didn't go low enough.
Shout out to Mayreng Rengulbai. Mango ay silo si James, ang korira James Mayreng Rengulbai man lebla karandiro si sakartira mata-matong. Matiragi dalawdan siya sumanti kal salmal morio walu belkora mo Omar get mga lewa tayo kalo oriro man sabihin morio masuba mata-matong.
But I was fortunate enough to go to the University of Oregon, where I studied biology and got a bachelor's degree. And then from there, I was in higher education for 12 years, so working at universities, actually helping kids, helping students, even some Palauan students, not only get into college, but also be successful while they're there. Yeah, and so, I did that for 12 long years.
Okay, makagit mamlo mereka yang bachelor ngira biology, tilo bedra school, okore muluriora tial education field trui erura, mang milamol mulkora waro ngasiora ngal ka school marangal ka bela mlara school sel time, al sabil succeeded tegi so you stayed at Portland.
I was in actually Ellensburg, Washington for 2 years, and then I was just outside of Portland in Vancouver, Washington for 10 years.
Okay. Mangkagit ko umisin da dilurior sa gidel area ra Vitara Portland. So Sarah, did you have a chance to come to Palau after you were born and then?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So when I was at my first job in Central Washington, I was 25 years old and I said, I'm going to go to Palau. And so I came with my Uncle Jacob and my Aunt Caroline, and we came to Palau, and that was back before the compact road was built.
Okay.
And so it was a really wonderful experience. I got to meet some of my family, and we took 2 hours to get to Ngorarv. And we stayed in Nurmid for a little while, and I said, you know what? After 2 weeks, I said, you know what? I'm going to live here because the milk is so good, and they have huge mangrove crabs. And so I started looking in Palau, I think, for a job. And then I said, oh wait, I can't afford to live here right now.
Okay. So ngayon dal 25 barigire mulai ulbengkira ngia angkor ngira Jacob ma Caroline and Jacob half brother at Jerome. So Jacob ngalgela 100 senior brother at Jerome ruba karanga ni angkora abola mangmlengi maasringira Caroline matamlera Belau okore segi dengan lu em marigila bola man mosuat tial belur bela lengaria awngil galado mo kama maklol ama ngaria telel mura may sumangarar de mangarmit mga sintiak nga kahmal so al kertel belu mga sala ko meso singania ko awngil lurior tel belu al ko tiaw ersel boniara kampak tama mga tabi newspaper tiabela shout out mo tiabela mal makatal lang aringi so open tiabela lo mesega lurio endiulo mesega le udo igel yo sintiak nga kada kalsi akan mekkera belur bela leng tiambal dir kangario udo dream da kalsel so you left and went back home
worked in higher education, got some experience, and then I think I was 36 years old and I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a husband. I said, you know what? I need something new with my life. So I started looking on a map and thinking where I'm going to move, New York, San Francisco, LA. And I said, I can't afford to live in any of those places. And then I said, what about Palau, So in 2014, I came to get my grandma to go to Portland because she was getting kind of old and sick. And that was the time that I said, okay, if I go to Palau and I like it, I'm going to move here. So.
Amen. So, kaya tuloy sa siyang okodem elol marigil, korokom das lusing rasa ngaral buluak boringin sa time hindi kalbi, lete kangaligel, mongkora malat kruas siyang mura bulura marigil arwan New York, sintiya kahale ere baik porbela. Dira kal losisig time ang mlegirel mel memlara dalal maasal mura marigil, koram lamom ito mongol bal marigil. Yalam yung wasintiya kakal So what did you do?
So it took me 3 more years. I moved into a really small place and, got rid of a lot of things. I started saving money, paying all my debt. And I think my family didn't believe me when I said I was going to move. But, usually when I put my mind to something, I do it. And so then one day I said, I bought my ticket. And then, and that was 2016.
2016.
Yeah, and I've been in Palau ever since. Wow. So, yeah.
Manglilutan mo ra Oregon edera lo ngudala imolsen sa mga mokparingi lingwa sak morbela ang ngalakla edera kamla mo sa el maratigetangi amla mokal marmang mle rebela or sira 2016 engay gidel ngartiang al mer el ang wadir ka 3 years. Okay, so Kamo Eyes, tell us, so what has happened in the 3 years?
Oh my gosh, so much has happened. I thought I was only going to come for 2 years. I said, you know what, I'm going to go to Palau, stay there for 2 years, help any way I can, and then go back to my normal life, right? But then next thing you know, got a boyfriend that turned into a husband, and then a baby, and but I think the thing that is keeping me here the most is just my commitment to, my family, my new extended family, and then also Palau Conservation Society.
Amen. Mangkagi dalo ay silwa se dimlegel nga telerura kung dimela to se acting arbela lura yako maral anding lame la mobi la buigerbela la moriang aligel mangway alokora la mo kier tiang ale parte tel el clol tulungal ngara al sele dire tial Palau Conservation Society nelang aduk mo rewang sia isela orere ra Palau Conservation Society tu era do yo get mo sentela gilang aligele tanklen. What's your
She's almost 2 in March. She'll be 2 years old.
Ero gilang aligel kumta segidal biggest blessing.
Absolutely. I had a lot of fun in my 20s, and then I had more fun in my 30s, and now that in my very late 30s, it would have been one of the best blessings of my life. Absolutely.
Amen. Mangkagidal malolang se leng lamoriang algel mang malungilan kon kagidal lang algel mo erurgil. Makadogero ka Bola. So tell us your work at Palau Conservation Society.
Well, so I've been at Palau Conservation Society now for almost 3 years, and I'm the executive director, so really honored and blessed to have such a role in the organization. And the organization is doing really well, really strong, in part because the staff is absolutely amazing. We have 11 staff members, very experienced and very committed to protecting Palau's environment, very committed to the organization. Some of our staff have been there, about at least 4 of them have been there for over 12, 13, almost 15 years. Absolutely.
Melang kagi del audio ra Palau Conservation Society manglang arsele de ra kamang kagi del mal ay siya klisi el aurere ra Palau Conservation Society tirgel adal audio ringi tirgel staff ringi el ngaringi loror traurior ngat tortira mal blakarendir el girel tegi del lugar wil tial lugel aklangar o kore ngaringi arte dertil almost otro may mara laurior ra Palau Conservation Society mang kagi del mal marong mo edera kal ngarsegi del Palau Conservation Society Bola, why do you think it's important to have that organization Palau Conservation Society?
I think one thing that sets PCS apart is that we are a community organization. We were formed by the community, and we are funded in part by the community. We have almost 600 members that give us $1 to $50 every 2 weeks out of their paycheck. And so, that shows, number one, our community focus. But number 2, I think we're really, as an organization, still tied culturally to a Palauan way of protecting the environment. We don't have to go out and necessarily teach people how to protect the environment. It's really a part of our culture and who we are. I think some of our work is just reminding and connecting maybe some of the modern day conservation to our actual culture. I think that has been actually one of the most amazing things about being in Palau is, to know that our great-grandmothers were out there protecting the environment as they were, doing their taro patch and their Masay, because Masay stops runoff, it slows down water and protects our coral reef. The fishermen of Palau, they practice bul and other, mechanisms to protect our species. And so I think that's really exciting. In the United States, when you think about conservation, you think about something that's for lack of better words, something for white people. But in Palau, conservation is who we are.
Okay. How many years have you at PCS?
3. Okay, 3 years, almost 3.
Okay, and how many years you've had the organization PCS has been in Palau for?
For 25 years. This year we celebrated our 25th anniversary, actually. Yeah.
Okay, mga da PCS at the Palau Conservation Society mlamolu ay marak langaringil alaaf tial obis ngania kagida lo ay silwase tiang aldo mal tokobet sal PCS ngil clear adrabalu ngoyal adra community ang tial organization na wat clear tial community mga niya o isa nga niya elol mildar tal adal donate talogi wa payroll ertira bekal rule sandel support tagi tal organization ya ako tal klo abel kul lesang setia maral diwaya ay katale tele drairar lo makarreo tial environment ri tial ugela klangaram ay gelurula ardala dama ardarir ardala darangara molmei el ngara mesea algo mesea stobertial el bago mendiagal di laborada bel tomalla ikaki dali maranda marngara ruba kamang sel time rangara mol time trigel ratiay gidra lo labarwabul el mga riomel e mga mokla ikaki tial ay galngi kalama akalit. Wow, so that really makes me really happy to hear that Seguidial aspect of PCS more on a cultural. So do you think, why is it important to the future of Palau, Seguidial organization, PCS?
Well, I think one reason, of course, is that, and this is what I've, gratefully learned about it since being in Palau, is that, we are so tied to our environment. I think more than a lot of people. When you're living in a big city, you like trees and you like, but when you're living in Palau, if there's no fish, then we're not going to eat, especially when the ships are not coming. If there's no turtles, then we're not going to be able to perform some of our traditional practices, especially as women. And so I think it is really important to the future of our environment, of course, but also to our livelihoods and also to our culture, that we have to protect Palau so that our culture can live on. I think one project I'm really excited about at PCS that kind of is tied to your question is called the Ocean Stewards Initiative. So many people are kind of familiar with the Abuela Sa'alid campaign many years ago.
Campaign.
Very successful campaign. And so our board and our staff really want to bring that kind of spirit back. And so we are, in the last year, actively in the schools talking about kind of newer issues like plastic pollution. So this past year, we were able to go to almost every seventh grade class in Palau, and the kids were out there on the shorelines collecting trash, analyzing it, figuring out where it was from, and then reporting their data. So, we're really thankful to the Ministry of Education and all the teachers that helped pull that off. It was actually a very close collaboration with the teachers so that it would fit with the curriculum. But I'm really excited about continuing projects like that get the kids excited, but they're learning at the same time.
The project, the Ocean Stewards?
Yeah, Ocean Stewards.
Ngal kamlar onya with the school at the lobe del mora bitara tamlora alo ma vaubel malaya igale komi plastic pollution mlosabiral malme missing ilwa semlargel me igal komi ma arangal gadire gal mlosabiral wal koramlo first hand seal was sengara sel talamalel the effects of plastic pollution dire mong mal excited to get the project tani mong kada kora mom sodra our culture I know did you have an omangat when you had your baby?
Okay, I'll admit that I was a little bit nervous to go through that process because I'd heard so many stories, and especially in Ma'as, they really try to kind of scare you. But I'm happy to say that I did go through the Omasur, and then I did go through the Omangat, and I loved the Omasur. It was such a beautiful thing, even though some parts were not so enjoyable. The amazing thing was that you're basically just being cared for by your aunties, and when you're completely naked, there's nothing to hide, and your aunties are just showing you so much love during that time, and it's a time that we don't really get to connect with each other. So while it was not the most comfortable thing the whole time, it was a really beautiful experience. And then of course at the end, when we got to steam with our cousins and things like that was really cool. The Omangat, I think if anyone was there, I had a smile on my face, but my eyes were terrified because there's all these people dancing around me, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do, if I was on the beat of the music. And but glad I went through it, and I'm glad you only have to do it once.
But thank you for sharing. Very happy with the Omsur especially the Omsur part. Emerald, it's won't say other rule but all time because the get together, the gathering, what your تلقى الأضاء الأنتيسة جدا الميمة أجل ستوري ما من غنيا مال بتقول كتير قال دسو بلوجي وشيء كده process. Now I kind of want to ask you you have stayed over 2 years what you had planned. Can you tell us what made you come back? The pay is not that good. I mean, minimum wage bela $3.50. Ngarang, and you you were raised in the States. So tell us what made you come home to Palau.
Well, as I said, when I was in my 30s, I just kind of felt like I had done everything in my job. I had been in a job in the same field for 12 years, in the same job for 10 years, and I loved it. I mean, I felt like I really helped so many students, but I felt like there was nothing new to do, and that's my personality. I like to do new things, and I like to, try new things and be adventurous, and so I think I was looking for an adventure, and I think when you're in your 30s, that is the time when motherhood is supposed to be an adventure, or, being in a relationship, and those just weren't happening for me. And so I was like, I'll probably be single my whole life. Let me at least go to Palau and, help out where they need it. Even if they need somebody to just flip fish burgers, I'll do it. But so I think that's a big reason of why I came. I didn't plan to stay though because of the wages. But now that I've been here for 3 years, I don't think it's the wages, and I will admit I do not make $3.50 an hour. I make more than $3.50 an hour. So I think I make a middle income Palauan wage, which is, I'll be honest, probably 1/3 of what of my earning potential in the United States. But there's other things in Palau, that have kept me here. Of course, my family, my new family, and then this opportunity to give back, which is not for everyone, but you in Palau, you can be at the track and the president is walking next to you on the track. You can you can knock on a senator's door. You can, there's so many opportunities to be a part of change here because, we're a young nation. I think we still have some growing to do. And so if you're the kind of person that likes that, like me, then I think it is something that other people, as long as you have enough money for housing and to feed your family and to go to the U.S. once in a while, I think it's not, life is not all about money. Yeah.
Ay, kamral musulang Bola. Sige da message el aldor ma endrarak. Life is not all about money. Mendi kaltialudo do mang kagi dalo ay sulwa say mang mleleng mal tialbalwada. Ang sabi el marera track ang arbitra presidente republic exercise ra track and field. Dir kagi karel balwada matakmal dir kasabi edal el qadingay ang aniya teal el takay ngesew el wado laget kartel balwad. Mangkagi dal mga ado elwase mense madal met kerbelaw ma korogi utang ang abtokar dir kan ngaray kerbelal asabi iral mo o abolal me erbelaw. Aktiswa kal share, I want to share lo sa mitra bolal do mo si chairman na krasim ring in open senator bola ulsigira museum okore atigelo de kasi maral por bela national museum mo me nakaraas maram rasire mak open rasim ring yak mo si ay makasali hotel do siya kasi ang kamera lungir din langkay kita ko mesa maral ko klong mga do abdal sel de sa marlungir amtan kasi kamera lungir din nga wasya ko sigra museum nga kakora tigyan siya kal other drip kung para museum makasime mataka kiknikal ma museum mangotra karamni lagi manal mo na Palau National Museum. I think you're looking for the Palau English dictionary.
I was.
Magim lang sige tagim lo ka tinga mabola meron ko alwasin kay kita ng arbela, but you also had an opportunity to go to Taiwan,
and that's what I'm saying. My cousin was living with you guys, and so that's why I knew to knock on your door. But I didn't know you were going to get in my car and help me find the museum. And then next thing you know, you're like, there's this opportunity, a leadership opportunity in Taiwan. We're looking for Palauans to go, and I said, of course. At that time I like to call it fun employed instead of unemployed. So I had time on my hands, and next thing you know, I was in Taiwan for 10 days. And that trip was really interesting and amazing, but it actually opened doors for me, and I have I think a good relationship with the Taiwan embassy because of that knock on your door. So
Taiwan malungil opportunities so thank you Taiwan government embassy tirang ngartel belam no sa el matrip pa mang segi dia mal korawaya lo o southern hill was en pato ka ngilte al sel tangara bulur bela maral tokoy I just had met a young lady in Askura, New Zealand on scholarship. Mang maral klo ate al sel da merbela mo ngate elen moray kay gitiel I want to study or to study abroad to even get higher degrees abroad.
Absolutely,
So can you give us maybe a shout out to the people in the States, your family in the States, and maybe just a message?
Oh, sure. Well, first to my sister, I know I only promised to stay in Palau for 2 years, and sorry about that. My sister and I are really close. But just shout out to my mom in California and Grandpa Douglas. Hope you're doing well, and my brother and sister and all the cousins in Portland, Oregon, and my brother's in Florida now. Shout out to my brother in Florida. So I hope you watch this on Facebook.
So, Bola, I wanted to ask and say, so what would you say about your experience here, hopefully to encourage more Palauans like you in their 30s, in the late 30s to maybe come home and help with Palau?
Well, I will say I'd like to start with some of the challenges I've had and maybe some of the things that might be holding people back. So, number one, I don't, as you have noticed, I don't speak Palauan very well yet, I think maybe some people could be scared of that, or, maybe there's some shame mixed in there, so even when you're living in the United States, we know that culture, is not just food and not just like our traditions, it's also language.
Yes.
Yeah, and so, being a Palauan American in the United States, I think our parents just raised us in a time where there's so much other things going on, and they wanted to make sure that we fit in to America. And I have friends that are Spanish speaking, Russian speaking, Vietnamese speaking, and they're kind of in the same boat, that their parents just wanted them to fit in, so they didn't teach them the language. But now they know in the United States, you have to teach your kids the, dual language is like a really big thing. But I don't think that should hold people back, because, part of learning is being uncomfortable sometimes and just putting your best foot out there. And so, I haven't let it hold me back, even though sometimes I don't know what's going on. But it's amazing. Sometimes I think, I don't speak Palauan at all. It's been 3 years. But then I realize how many words I do know. But I will say that on January 14th is my first day in class, Palauan Conversational 101. So I'm
PCC. Thank you, Dr. Tele.
So I'm really excited to kind of invest that time. The other thing that has been a challenge for me, but it's actually a challenge, I think, for for a lot of young Palauans in Palau, has been housing. And I don't have to go into all the challenges we have with housing. There's just increased demand, and seems like there's less housing these days in Palau. And so I'm really blessed now. I live just next door at Florencio Yamada's apartment. And of course, I think like most families, we want to live in a house. But, I'm just waiting for God to bless me with that opportunity.
Yes,
so, but I think if we do want, here's what I think. Okay, so I hope it's not too different from what you think, Senator. I think that more Palauans should come home. They don't have to stay, but more Palauans should come home and just experience what home means. Because like I was telling Mr. Talams, there's things that you don't know. There's things about your culture that you've been taught, but you don't know why. So for example, and I won't name the auntie, but I have a couple of aunties who are married to my uncles, who my whole life were washing dishes at my house. And I was like, man, these aunties love to wash dishes. They love dishwashing. And I'm like, Auntie, thank you. Let me wash the dishes. And they're like, no, you go away, And then I come to Palau and I learn about buasal. I might be mispronouncing that. And I'm like, they don't love to wash dishes. It's their responsibility. So that's just one. Start. Yeah, that's one thing that it just blew. You blew my mind. Okay. The second thing, CH. Okay, my whole life I would try to pronounce Palauan words, and I'd say it, and my mom's like, "It's not like that. It's not like that." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know there was a CH.
Yeah, Uduch. Yeah.
That's another thing that can absolutely blow your mind, because of course, English, CH is ch, but in Palauan it's and so once you are introduced to the it's like your mind is blown. So there's just some things that until you come to Palau. I guess there's YouTube now, but until you come to Palau, and so what if? Because I was reading an article the other day about people from Ghana. So Ghana is a country in West Africa. They have also a huge diaspora around the world. Every country in the world has Ghanaians. They had a campaign called, I can't remember what it's called, but something like Welcome, Welcome Home or something like that. So they had a campaign, and they just invited people from around the world, no matter which country they are, and come back home. This boosted their tourism economy. Over 1 million people came home in 2019 to Ghana. And I think the big thing about why they came home was because they felt welcome to come home. There was no drama. It was just come home, spend your money in our hotels, learn about your culture, meet your family. And they had some infrastructure that they, developed to make that easier. And so, some of those million maybe are going to stay. And we don't necessarily want 20,000 people to come to home to stay, right? But if 10,000 came, in a 2-year period, and 500 stayed, that would be huge.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, and then it would boost our economy. These they already have an incentive to come. We don't have to explain to them what Palau is. In fact, they probably have developed, especially my generation who have never really been to Palau, they've probably developed a romance in their mind about what Palau is. And then they come and it really is that romantic, And so I think that, that's an opportunity. And I'm not, who am I to say? But
no, it's great.
Yeah,
because I remember mentioning to Minister Baclara one time, it really Operation Come Home or Welcome Home. But that's a great idea. Al-mukut maklin. Ang kaya kita bolan mle story mong malmongilan ng dalawang mong bihat mula sa ikal syukang argil. Adola belo bengiatan mo ay krelo belaw mangkagi dulu ay selwase ngariar trigel antis ringin mlebe ila rodala mamiringe el selabong etta de maliba balato ngal de maliba balato rablir mangkamala se korom do se siatingal antis ambral sorry maliba balato ati alo mangkagi dal merbela mlom de mo get ready ar bol saal lem lam bol saal mom lam mom dengi luase that's what you do as a bol saal viral mod adol girel sele word el sel egel tul ch el mal botto ra torbelaw the pronounce ringing segi dir kora sound biakala cha alwa marigel mangkagi del blol nga ka perfect example lang klika udu sel gona gito se uduch ma sel ko talati ko se yuda kasi tiada kal chokal akrom dito kono ko dikal silong ibulit yan clear but kaya dalo ay sige that experience ni but maralong iltelul as well mang akmal maybe PBA can do that for 2020 as also part of their projects or a theme come home 2020 lang malbuto ka happening ra 2020 it's a very busy year for
very Palau. Busy
looking forward to the Oceans Conference coming up. A role that you're going to be playing there this year?
I'm sure there will be a role for us, so we're just ready and waiting.
How have you been finding your Bolsa Aldurisa?
I don't think I'm a very good one so far. I don't have a masay, or I heard I do, but I'm not in it. So that's a work in progress.
I'm so happy to hear your story about Maliba Balatong ale malayak tiyang shoutout talmorang kayo dali auri kakanay when we go to customs in ngarar dagibo bol sa ngarar takmal remember adir kal kya dalala chero mi yakamam tiro kam kikren bol sa altia kangaral tia ka to mi titura be program sel do bot mo oy til ay ginawa shero mi matamal di mor ode kale sikit sel dangar di Maliba Balatong di Maliba Balatong so the new Bolsal get to do the
because do the dishes.
We don't have taro patches to get taro and all that. Okay, well thank you so much, Bola. I think we're coming to the end of this very important family hour because it talks about coming home for your Tegidial for 3 years now that you've been here. So thank you for sharing your challenges. Mga rakukara successes aside from your job and the baby and just have you maybe more cultural experiences?
Well, one thing I've been very privileged to do. So when I was in the U.S., I think I had only been to Mexico. Since I've been in Palau, I've been to Pohnpei, Taiwan, Belgium, probably some other places that I can't remember. And so I think that's one incentive too for people to come home as well, is that if you're in Palau, you have to, if you want to go somewhere, you have to take an airplane and go there. And I think, I don't know, but per capita, I bet as Palauans we travel more than most people. And I think it's a good thing, when you're on an island, I think it is good to have new ideas and new experiences. And so, I think that has been really great. I think another thing I'm excited about is the Palau Educators and Employers Alliance. I'm lucky enough to be an officer for that group, and
thank you. How's that going? Because I heard about it some years back. Palau
Educators and Employers Alliance, BEEA.
Oh, BEEA. Meron ko lang yung omsoder na nga ramon ikoram lostop. Can you tell us what that organization is?
It's an organization that really has a goal to bring educators and employers together so that we can meet each other's needs. So employers have needs in terms of the skills that they need, and then educators want to place their students with employers and make sure that they're hireable. I don't know what the word is. Yeah, hireable. And so it's really about bringing those two groups together. So yeah, I'm excited to, because like I said, I worked in higher education before, and it really is still a passion for me. And so I'm excited to be working with that group more and helping more Palauan students access the jobs that they want and help them getting ready for college and career.
Mga dalo ay susumal betokal involved ringil dito para higher education kagi dal direkal parte kagi del PEEA al dalira educators at other school luma tirgal employers ng private sector
and government too.
Tirgal employers ng private government sector mangmusabi dal wayado ultra private sector government to sangral skills sa tospera wangaral الآذلو ريال وانغرا تلي ما سكولا مسبير لول توبا درانغال كرا سكولا المسيل قط مقلقين وريال لو سبي الغرا private and government sector. So very exciting.
And then the very last thing that I'll share, very excited about, is we back in July, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Palau Public Library, we started a baby and toddler reading club. Yeah, and so it's for kids 0 to 3 years old and their parents, and just once a month we come together and we read stories and we sing songs and we play together. And usually there's like 10 to 15 kids there and their parents, so like 30 people come, and it's just to promote reading and early literacy, and it's also great for the moms, mostly moms, but also grandmothers that come. I think we had 2 dads in the past.
Nice.
And the one thing we really want to do, I think, in 2020, we're able to sometimes include Palauan stories and Palauan songs, and so trying to incorporate the culture. And it's cool because there's like mostly Palauans, but also some Japanese, Chinese, and Americans and Europeans, and so it's a really multicultural. And we've had some guest readers in the past, so Senator, I would love for you to come and read one of these days.
And that's open for everyone.
It's open for kids 0 to 3.
Palau Public Library, Ministry Education Building.
Yeah, and shout out to those librarians.
Shout out to our librarians. Dira kamal sulalol nga sew. Al suko mangalge chero, dira kamila elal mo edergil. Inse ngulmong okore nga niya tamongoy will or say share stories
every third Wednesday. So the next one is January 15th at 9:30 a.m.
Okay. Next at January 15 at 9:30 a.m. Mabol sabi mo mong titiran ngal mong gire lang ngal tolo el dirkamle el mo edergin tamalas malong maksamariar tegi dalo mo yura ngal miti magikare mo do mo yak mo mo somaria loreng sa aldo akora mo connected tilang bola with Dr. Okayama, the Japanese PhD who did her research in Palau and recommended our language, the Palauan language. They recommend that we speak the language to our children. Also make sure to write and read it, mangania storybooks in Palauan language. So really kind of connected to what she had recommended if we want to preserve. Our language because it's so important to our culture.
Absolutely.
Di ako matakamal masawlo for coming today.
Hey, Joe.
Datial ko lang mo mereka familia rin kay Gidia. Bola Orak Majekobaje ka Executive Director of Palau Conservation Society, Malaysia experience ringira logro ramrigel and ding kay Gidia mla merme akmal di otengir selul das well al wase Bible da koraro lik tay Gidia Operation Welcome Home. Mado olngitra adra bela ol kira krel bela wase ku may nakaswes stimulate ra economy mystery ra other vela both ngilga dange mas edal ko ka malamol martial niya klabela orgid makli vela orgid seguida ako rawa bolulubong al 2019 ra family out se dolmol mal القابل تيرين كاكاك كاسباق dolmol mal الغيوري قديم إذا متموقع تيال بيلارجيد متيال شوقان رجيد تيال كلابيلارجيد الرولي المويلياق unique creation of God الأذر بيلاو مسيجي دي أمو family last family 2019 ومن مسولان هذا يسمى قلتنا تريد روقي ماقوق next year 2020 Happy New Year